Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today it was the conclusion of Washington Commanders' mandatory minicamp. So today, first up, we're going to talk about some things that Jayden Daniels, the new quarterback of the Commanders, and head coach Dan Quinn had to say in their respective press conferences this week that I think are of note. And then we'll get into my list of minicamp winners and losers here, breaking down my 6 winners from mandatory minicamp and then 4 players that I consider losers as we finish the OTA period here this offseason. Now, help us move up the ranks here in the Chat Sports Power Rankings here. The next kind of channel above us right now here at the Commanders Report is the Alabama Football Report, who currently has over 17,700 subscribers. We've been gaining ground on them over the last couple of weeks. We're up at 16,255. The higher we rise up the ranks here at Chat Sports, the more stuff we get to do, more videos, more live streams, more watch parties, more giveaways. So the higher we go, the more stuff that we can do here. So if you want daily and free Commanders content and you want to help us pass Alabama Football Report, make sure you click that subscribe button. And I got to say this right now, folks. If you're a new viewer and you're watching our video for the first time, or you're watching one of our videos for just the first couple of times, we're really relying on you guys because most of the people that watch this show are already subscribed to the channel. So in order for us to catch up to Alabama Football Report, we need the new bodies to click that thumbs up or that subscribe button right now. We are counting on you, so make it happen right now. Click that subscribe button right now. Now, first up here, let's go over Jayden Daniels' comments from his press conference yesterday at Mandatory Minicamp, where he talked about a number of different topics. First, on his mentality heading into his rookie season, this is what he had to say. I would just say, as you rep more things, obviously you start getting a grasp of the playbook, but I still got a long way to go to still be where I want to be. I'm trying to be perfect. I'm trying to perfect it and trying to be a perfectionist as much as possible. I ain't a star quarterback yet. I got a long way to go. I'm a rookie. So I really do love this mentality from JD. He's a humble human being, but he's also extremely confident in himself. He's extremely hardworking, and he understands and he has the right mentality here in terms of knowing that he's a rookie, that he has to play catch up with the rest of the National Football League. And in order for him to have success right away, he's going to have to put in those hours, and he's going to have to approach this situation with humility. Another quote that he had on his daily routine, which I thought was very intriguing, he says, I get here at like 5:45 a.m. I mean, I'm not even awake at that time, folks, just trying to prepare myself for the day. It's kind of just that routine that I had when I was in college, but now I'm in there actually walking through because I'm still learning the playbook and trying to grasp everything. And he even said that his new rookie teammate, Luke McCaffrey, is getting in at the same time that he is, 5:45 a.m. every single day in the Commanders facility. So that's obviously something you want to see from 2 players that you're really hoping are going to be cornerstones for your offense moving forward. Another quote here on Cliff Kingsbury's offense and how it's going so far. Jayden said, it's been great, just the offensive mind of his and the type of coach he is and how he can scheme things up. He has a very quarterback-friendly offense just for everybody in that room to go out there, to learn it, and compete at a high level. So listen, it definitely is good to hear that everything is going smoothly between new offensive coordinator Cliff Kingsbury and new quarterback Jayden Daniels, that things are going well. You know, the install isn't going too fast for Jayden or anything of the like, and it definitely seems like Jayden likes what Cliff Kingsbury is going to be doing here, and I do think that the skill set that Jayden brings to the table is a good fit for what Cliff is going to want to do offensively here in Washington. So here's to hoping that these guys are a good pairing for this football team moving forward. So now we're on to head coach Dan Quinn here, who talked to the media to finish up mandatory minicamp. He actually talked to the media every single day this week, and he had some very interesting things to say about Jayden Daniels and the quarterback competition that's coming in training camp. So first, on Daniels himself, he says he's got the demeanor about the execution, about the confidence. He's got a swagger to him. He's got a very firm handle on the things that we are doing, but he also has the humility of a young player. That is something we talked about earlier. And then talking about the quarterback competition and whether or not Jayden already has the number 1 quarterback role on the team, he says no great declarations other than we're being true to who we are as competitors. There's no doubt Jayden's making unbelievable progress here and will have a very fun camp, but he's earned the opportunity to go out and compete. But listen, guys, I think we all know Jayden Daniels is probably going to start week 1. The fact that it's already a competition, type environment here where Jayden's already getting first-team reps, and most of them towards the end of mandatory minicamp here, he's looking fantastic out there. It definitely doesn't bode well for Marcus Mariota to win this job out of camp. Fully expect Jayden to be the starting quarterback when this team plays Tampa Bay in week 1 this year. So sound off for me down there in the comments section. What is the % chance that Jayden Daniels is the week 1 starting quarterback? Scale it up for me on a scale of 0 to 100 for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know what % chance Jayden has to be the week 1 starter here in Washington. So now let's get into my list of winners and losers here. I've got 6 winners and 4 losers from this week's practices. And the first person we're going to talk about is the same person we've been talking about all video, and that's Jayden Daniels, okay? He has been unbelievable throughout the first, few weeks of the offseason program here. It's been just really a marvel to watch, and he has really set himself up for success as we head into training camp in a few weeks from now, because he's looking like he's executing things at a high level. He throws with beautiful touch and accuracy. The footwork is really clean as well. And another thing about Jayden Daniels is that you can tell on the field, on the practice field, that he looks more filled out than he was at LSU. He looks like he's bigger. His arms and his biceps are bigger than they were at LSU, where he was kind of slender, he was spindly, all these different things. But Jayden, you can definitely tell throughout the draft process, and now that he is a Washington Commander, has done everything in his power to really be the best player that he can be. And that, of course, includes a thicker frame. Then we get to Dyami Brown, one of the receivers that Jayden Daniels was throwing to this week, who really had the best connection down the field with Jayden, in my opinion. Now, Dyami is somebody that is going to benefit from an OTA, mandatory minicamp type environment, because he is a smaller, faster, shiftier wide receiver. And, when you're not playing in pads, when you're not playing with the physical element of the game, then Dyami Brown is going to be somebody that is going to benefit from that, because you can't, be physical at the catch point, all these different things. So Dyami is definitely somebody that benefits from this, environment at OTAs. But they're definitely developing a connection, and that's something that you want to see here, especially for Dyami Brown's purposes, because he's heading into a year where it's going to be really, really important for him moving forward and trying to be one of the top targets for Jayden Daniels heading into his first year in the league. Then we get to Quan Martin here, a defensive back that was taken in the 2nd round last year, played a lot of nickel corner. When this Commanders defense was struggling last year, and he didn't play well. He didn't help the problems at all. Now the Commanders seem to be moving him to safety instead of nickel corner, because they just drafted Mike Sainristil, who will be playing there. But he had an unbelievable interception where he tipped the ball in the air, and then he caught the ball behind his back. It was just an incredible thing to watch. Go to social media, watch that play, because it's really a marvel to see. But Quan is definitely somebody that's taking that new safety role and running with it, and that's what you want to see right now. Another player that's been really impressive so far is Jamin Davis, who's being moved to edge rusher. Now, it's kind of like a hybrid edge rusher linebacker type role, kind of like that Micah Parsons role that we saw him play in Dallas in this defense ran by Dan Quinn over the last several years. But Jamin definitely has the body type and the physical skill set to play that kind of hybrid role, and he's certainly looking good right now, and he's drawing high praise from coaches. Then we get to Mike Sainristil, the nickel corner, 2nd-round pick for the Commanders this year. He's been awesome. He's been as advertised. I can't wait to see him play. I think he's going to be one of the best rookie defenders in football this year, and he's probably going to be maybe the best overall corner in the Commanders' cornerback room this season, even in his first year. And then another rookie that's impressed me throughout training or throughout minicamp this week is Jordan Magee, the inside linebacker who was drafted on day 3 this year. He's got an excellent physical skill set. I don't think he's going to be ready to play day 1 in the National Football League, but he's taking pretty nicely to this new defense and, getting it acclimated to the NFL. I think he looks like a future starter for this defense. Now, make sure before we get into the losers on my list here, make sure you click that thumbs up icon if you haven't already, if you are a real one. And before I get into the losers here, I want to go over I think that this is absolutely fantastic. I saw somebody down there in the live chat asking about Jayden Daniels jerseys and when Fanatics is going to put it out there. Guess what? They're here. Go to chatsports.com/Daniels. I'll put that link in the comments and description of today's show. And the thing that really makes this awesome, guys, is that if you were planning on getting a Jayden Daniels Commanders jersey anyway, and you want to help out the channel, this is your opportunity to do so, because if you use our link, chatsports.com/Daniels, and you make a purchase, Fanatics is going to send us part of the proceeds to help us make more Commanders content for you guys every day for free. So if you're planning on getting a Daniels jersey, get it from our friends at Fanatics right now by using our link, chatsports.com/Daniels. So now we're on to the losers here for mandatory minicamp. Now I do want to have a little bit of a disclaimer here, because just because you're on the losers list, or just because I put a player on this list, does not mean that I think they're a bad football player or that they're definitely going to get cut or anything of that like, okay? I'm just saying that, this probably wasn't the best week for them in terms of their positioning on the roster, but hey, man, things can definitely turn around in training camp. Okay, first one, Emmanuel Forbes. And the reason why he's on my losers list is because, let's just face it. Heading into this offseason, we were hoping that Forbes was going to, put on weight just like Jayden Daniels has, and it just doesn't seem like he's done that. This picture has gone viral on social media where a high schooler kind of made him look like a high schooler at his own camp, right? And you look at the legs, and they're still super skinny. The arms are still super skinny. And, without the size and the strength, and it's really hard to play a physical brand of football. And if you can't play a physical brand of football on the outside against, bigger receivers like A.J. Brown and DK Metcalf, can't keep up with those guys on a physical standpoint, you're just not going to be able to cover them. And it's just going to limit what you can do as a cornerback. So he still looks too thin to me. He still looks like that's going to be a big hindrance on his 2024 season. Hope I'm wrong. Hope he has a complete breakout season, and he's still very talented, can catch the football, great ball skills. He can track the football in the air. He's got good things about his game, but, that frame is definitely still in concern. Then we get to Marcus Mariota, and we talked about Jayden Daniels, how well he's playing in OTAs and through this mini camp here, and that just means bad things for Marcus Mariota. Like, if Jayden Daniels is playing well, there's pretty much nothing Mariota can do to keep the starting job long-term here in Washington. I mean, plain and simply, they invested that number 2 overall pick in Daniels, so if he's playing well, he's going to get the playing time, period, okay? And Mariota's that bridge-type guy, and I just think that he needs to get used to, sitting pine. I mean, we see him wearing that number 0. For me, that signifies the amount of games he's going to be starting for the Washington Commanders this year, okay? I don't think he's going to be playing much this year, barring a Jayden Daniels injury, and I think for week 1, he's going to start the year as the backup QB. Then we get to Johnny Newton, and, he's been on my losers list through, rookie minicamp and OTAs and now through minicamp here because he hasn't played, and he's been injured, and he's been recovering from that foot procedure. He's had 2 separate foot procedures on each of his feet this offseason, so 1 per foot. And, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back from that. Dan Quinn said that they're hoping they're going to get him back for training camp, and, I'm hoping that he's going to be ready to go by week 1 because he's a talented individual, and he's certainly somebody I'm going to be keeping my eye on once training camp begins. Then another guy that's been dealing with an injury here that hasn't been able to really participate is Efe Obada. Now, the team brought Obada back in free agency this year, but with the way the defense is kind of constructed right now, I'm just not sure if Obada's going to have a spot on this roster heading into 2024. He's coming back from that leg injury that he suffered in 2023. And, you look at his situation and you look at, Jamin Davis moving to edge, and you still have Dorrance Armstrong, and they brought in Dante Fowler and Cleveland Ferrell, and, they're bringing in all these edge rushers. If Efe Obada doesn't come back with a vengeance here after pretty much sitting the first portion of the offseason so far, I mean, he might be in danger of getting cut from this team moving forward. Now, let me know down there in the comments section who has the most pressure on them heading into training camp on this Commanders roster. Let me know a name down there in the comments section of who has a lot of pressure heading into camp. That'll be it for today's show, guys. I appreciate your support. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already for more Commanders news and rumors content all throughout the 2024 offseason.